Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about a potential matchup between Ryan Garcia and Isaac Cruz. Before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so over the course of the last few days in social media, we've seen Ryan Garcia come out and call out Isaac Cruz. Said he wants to make the fight. Then he comes out just a few days later and said, oh, the fight's not going to get made. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I really want to have this one. This is a fight that you guys, talking to Cruz and his team, this is the fight that you guys said you wanted. This is a fight that you guys said you wanted to make. You were looking forward to. You were hoping that it was going to happen. Now I'm out here. I'm trying to make it happen, and I'm hearing nothing but excuses from Cruz's manager. Now, let's be honest with each other, okay? We've seen Ryan Garcia say that he was going to make all kinds of fights, say he was going to do all kinds of things and fight all kinds of people. But for some reason, it never really materializes. And we've also seen the people that Ryan Garcia has fought, and we've seen the performances that he's put on in those fights. Last fight being against Emmanuel Tagawa. On the flip side of that equation, we've seen Cruz. And we've seen his last two fights, Gervonta Davis and Yuriorkis Gamboa. Now look, I'll be the first to admit, I think Ryan Garcia is going to be in a whole lot of trouble if this fight actually gets made. I'm really, really surprised that this is the fight that he's calling for. I'm kind of shocked that he's out here on social media and this is the dude that he's calling out. I don't see a lot of upside for him in this one. I saw him get dropped against Luke Campbell. I saw the way he looked in his last fight against Tago. I get it. He switched trainers. He's with Joe Goose, and a man who I have an incredible amount of respect for. But, I don't know necessarily what's going on there. I don't know how much Ryan Garcia is going to be able to soak up and how much he's going to be able to learn and how much he's going to be able to go out there and put together. I'm really curious because I've seen what he's put on, the performances he's put on so far. I've seen the shots that he gets caught with when he's got his head in the air. I've seen how he tries to focus everything on his speed and his fast twitch muscle fibers and how he tries to get that left hook off. How he doesn't set enough shots up, how he doesn't use enough feints, how he doesn't work the angles quite well enough, and he's flat-footed and he's in front of guys. I've seen all that. And I've seen what Isaac Cruz can do. I've seen what he's done against a man who, in my opinion, is way more talented than Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. I think Gervonta Davis is a much more dangerous fighter. Cruz went out there and gave him his toughest fight to date, right? Basically lost 115, 113 on the cards for the most part. Looked really good. Comes back out there in the very next fight against an old Gamboa, a Gamboa who's far past his prime. Gamboa is fighting above his best weight. I admit all that. You can look at the preview I made for the fight. Talked about all of it. But here's the thing. Cruz did exactly what he was supposed to do. Got him out of there. Stopped him in 5. Again, very impressive performance. Do you think Ryan Garcia would have been able to do that? You think Ryan Garcia stepping in there against Gervonta Davis would have looked as good as Cruz did? I doubt it. I highly doubt that these guys actually want this fight, to be perfectly honest with you. I hear Oscar De La Hoya in the media talking about how he's 100% making this fight happen. Oscar De La Hoya isn't a dummy in that regard. We've seen him say that he wasn't behind certain fights before that really didn't make a lot of sense. Ryan Garcia is he's a cash cow for him. He makes a lot of money. Garcia is huge on social media. He's got a very big following. You put him in LA, you probably put him down in Texas where he's got his biggest amount of fan base. It's like, dude, he goes out there and all of a sudden gets scorched by Cruz. It's not gonna help him. It's not gonna look good. So I would be really surprised if this fight comes to fruition. I would be really surprised if this one happens. I would also to be perfectly honest, I would be really surprised if Cruz was ducking. I'd be really surprised if his manager was actually out there actively avoiding this fight. Because think about it. Garcia is gonna sell some tickets, as I just mentioned. Garcia is gonna bring you a lot of name brand, a lot of name recognition. Cruz has been looking dangerous. I don't think he's a man who shies away from people. Why wouldn't he accept this fight? Why wouldn't he try to make this happen? I mean, maybe you could say, maybe they're lowballing him, right? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Ryan Garcia is coming at him, and that's, Dana White from the UFC, one of the things that he says is there's a lot of ways for guys not to take a fight. They can say they want to fight, but then they can come up with a bunch of excuses as far as why they won't take it. And one of those ways can be money. Maybe it's an excuse, maybe it's not, maybe the money really is low, but think about it. Ryan Garcia comes to this fight, says he's the A side, comes and makes an offer to Cruz and lowballs him, knowing he's lowballing, knowing he's giving him this super low number to the point that Cruz is going to walk away and not accept it all to offer Ryan Garcia the opportunity to say, I wanted to make the fight. Cruz walked away. I'm not the problem here. I was the guy trying to make it happen. It was somebody else. Dude, that's what marketing's about. That's what people do. That's how come people have PR teams. They set them up to kind of do these things, to build up images and make things look certain ways when it's really not. All the smoke and mirrors, all about salesmanship and how you're going to guide your career and everything. Unfortunately, all these things happen. It's not just about what we see in the ring. It's not just about fighting. That's what I love. That's what I like to see the most, is when guys are in there practicing their craft. Every now and then it's good to be entertained by the rest of it, but sometimes it just turns into a soap opera. Sometimes it turns into a little bit dramatic, especially if you know some of the things that are going on behind there and the way people are trying to manipulate situations and craft things. And, I'm not necessarily saying that's what Ryan Garcia is doing. I'm saying I don't think he really wants this fight. I think you better be careful what he asked for. I think that if somehow, some way this fight gets made and he steps in there with Cruz, he's going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Plain and simple. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think he's being legit with this one? Do you think he really wants it? And if he does get it, is it going to be too much for him? Let me know what you guys think.